Hi, everybody. We've got an interesting session today planned. It's a 30-minute session, and we're going to use what is called a foam roller. Now, you may have seen these in the shops. You may have one at home, or you may have seen them kind of online. But I love this little bit of equipment. There are two types. You can either have a short one. This one has a grid pattern, which helps with some deep tissue massage, essentially, or a long one. Now, I have both, and I use both fairly regularly. This is what I use to start when my body's starting to ache after a long week of classes. I get my rollers out and have some fun with them. So I thought people might be curious as to, what to do with these things and whether you should invest in one. Hopefully, you're also maybe looking this up because you have one at home and aren't quite sure what to do with it. Anyway, we're going to play around with them today. I'm going to use both types. Do what you can and kind of keep revisiting this video until you feel like you've got the movements down. So we're going to start with the smaller roller, the grid roller. You can also get these shorter length, but without the grid pattern on them. Which is also quite useful for certain things. But I'm just going to kind of pop it at the end of my mat, and I'm going to stand at the opposite end of the mat. Have a look at your feet, check your feet are parallel, toes and heels in a line. Start drawing the abdominals in. We're just going to drop your chin to your chest, round the spine, and start rolling yourself down over the legs. Just let the head hang there for a moment, nod your head, shake your head side to side. And then soften your knees, get your hands to the mat and start walking forward, walking out towards that roller. Now, once your hands are just in front of the roller, I want you to climb up on top of the roller so your hands are right there on top of the roller. Just kind of rolling over, fingertips kind of rolled over the top. Lift your head, relax the shoulders, and we're just going to come back into a downward dog, pulling that roller slightly in and then roll forward back into your plank. I want you to inhale as you lift your hips up, and then exhale as you drop your hips back into your plank. One more time there. So lifting the hips up just slightly, ever so slightly, rolling that roller in, and then rolling it forward. So the roller just makes your plank a little bit more difficult because it adds an element of instability. Now really press the roller away. I'm going to point your left toe and start lifting that left leg up 4 times. 3, last 2. So this is something we do in my normal Pilates classes, but with the roller, it just makes it a little more challenging. Now drop the hips, really tuck your tailbone under, press the mat away, point your right toe and lift the right leg up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take the toes down, and now we're going to try the super challenge, coming into a push-up. Bend your elbows and exhale, press the mat away. That's quite challenging on the roller. I'm going to do one more in a full pull push-up position, and then I need to drop down to my knees because it's quite challenging. You may be okay in that full plank up, full press up. Another thing, you can maybe turn your hands out to the side, so you're holding the ends of the roller. You're going to drop the chest down, exhale, lift, inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Aim for 2 more here, down and up. Last one. Lift and hold. Now I'm going to tuck those toes under, turn your hands so the fingers are again rolled over the top of that roller, and then come up into your plank. One more time, just holding there. Lift the hips all the way up, press into your heels, let the roller go, and just walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend the knees, round the spine, and roll yourself all the way back up to standing. Lift the head, then flow your arms up, breathe out, come up into a balance, holding here. And then reach your arms out to the side as you drop your heels down, drop your chin to your chest, round the spine, and roll yourself down one more time. Now bend the knees, walk the hands forward and coming forward to that roller. Hands come on top of the roller, and then just step your feet back a little bit if you're not in your low plank. Check your shoulders are over your hands, lift your head, and try to drop the hips slightly. I'm going to drop the knee under the body to the opposite elbow. Inhale, plank, exhale, twist, alternate sides. Just really dropping the hip to get the knee right to that opposite elbow. Stay here for 6 and 5. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to your plank, drop your knees down, and sit back onto your heels. Now, these are all quite strong exercises, but don't worry, at the end of the session, we're going to do the best part of the roller, which is your deep tissue stretch. So we start out working our muscles. We're gonna finish with a good stretch. Now you see, I've moved my roller, so it's just under my knees, kind of tucked in just below my knees. Now I'm gonna come into a plank here. So the roller is just below the kneecaps. Shoulders are directly over my hands. Now we're gonna breathe out, draw the knees in, breathe in, rolling back. Breathe out, just roll the roller in, roll the feet in, breathe in, extend. 2 more like that. Breathing out, draw the knees under the body, breathe in, stretch it back. You can also do this down on your elbows if that's more comfortable. Lift and lower. Let's go one last time. Roll the knees in, get that full tuck, and then extend the legs back out. Now I'm going to come back up into your onto a full kind of plank pose, and just walk your hands a little further back so the roller's just under those kneecaps. Now we're going to do a push-up here. I'm going to bend the elbows, keep the elbows in tight to the ribcage, exhale, press the mat away. So this actually helps you to modify your push-up because there's less, you're not lifting those lower legs up as well. So it's more like a modified push-up. Stay here for 3 and 2. It also kind of feels good under those knees to have that roller. Last one. And then just roll forward once again. Tuck your knees under, and let's come up off the roller. Okay, you can see like I'm getting out of breath. There's a lot of, it's really dynamic using the foam roller. It adds quite a lot of challenge, and it's just more movement. So you get the breath flowing. You really feel your muscles, lots of different muscles working. Now, having done our planks, both with the roller under your hands and the roller under your knees, I'm going to come into our shoulder bridge, which is another series which is really benefits from having this new piece of equipment. Hands to come down by your sides, and you walk your roller in quite close towards your heels. Press your lower back into the mat, scooping the abdominals in, lifting the pelvic floor. Inhale to hold. And then as you exhale, we just curl the spine all the way up. Now I've got my knees together and my feet really close together on the roller. I'm going to lift my hands up so you can see kind of what's happening a little bit more through my glutes and my lower body. And we drop the hips down. Exhale, lift. Breathe in and out. Stay here for 4. So squeezing the glutes again. Having that roller there just reduces your stability. So you have to work a little harder. You may find that your head starts sliding to the end of the mat. If you need to, just correct that. So I'm going to just drop the hips down and inch myself a little further down my mat, and then lift back up into my shoulder bridge. Now I'm going to do single legs. So I'm going to float your right knee up. Gives you a little more space to play with when your heel is up higher on that roller. Stay here for 6 and 5. Last 4. Again, that standing leg is working much harder. 3. Knee stays over the hip. Last 2 and 1. Now lower the right knee down. Press into that right heel. Make sure the pelvis doesn't shift. Send your left knee up to the ceiling. Keep the fingertips pointing up to the ceiling. And 8 times. Drop the hips down and up. Breathe in and out. 6 more. And 5. Last 4. 3, 2, and 1. Now lower that left foot down. Squeeze your knees together. Lift the hips a little higher. Breathe in. Reach the arms all the way behind you. And then breathe out. Drop your rib cage down first. Middle back second. Lower back comes down third. And then hip bones and tailbone come down last. Now breathe in. Take your hands back to sides. Check that the roller is still kind of close into your body. That's kind of level. It's perpendicular to your mat. It's not starting to tilt. One end isn't kind of creeping away from you. Take a deep breath in. We're going to come back up into our shoulder bridge. Again, starting with our imprint, imprinting the lower back into the mat. Heel the spine all the way up. Narrow that waist. So just feel that wrap around your middle. Button your ribs towards your hips. Now my knees are slightly apart with this one. So more in line with your hips rather than zipping the inner thighs together. I'm going to use the hands for the moment. Hands down to the mat. Pull your right knee into your chest and then lift the toe up to the ceiling. Now let's try to take the hands away. So again, this leg can be really wobbly, adding a little more challenge, and then we're going to lower the straight leg down. Breathe out, lift it back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep the pelvis level, just look down your body. Pelvis should be parallel to the floor. Leg, that right leg long and strong. Last 2. And lift. 1 more. Down. And up and hold. Now lift a little higher. Small circles with that right leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse it, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the right knee. Let's just roll the spine back down for a moment. Hands come back to the mat. Big inhale. Make sure your roller hasn't crept away from you. Lower back presses down. Peel the spine all the way back up into your shoulder bridge. Wrap the core again. Button your ribs towards your hips. Send your left leg up. Stretch the leg long. Use your hands for that support. But if you want more challenge, you can also tap the hands up to the ceiling. Now lower the leg. Breathe out to lift it. Inhale, lower. Now check your shoulders every now and then. Make sure the shoulders aren't coming up to those ears, tensing that neck. And lift. Stay there for 4. Breathe in and out. Last 2. And lift. 1 more. Up and hold. Let's take the hands away. Lift everything and touch higher. Small circle. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stabilize that right knee, that supporting leg. Reverse your circles for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the toe, that foot back down to the mat. Breathe in, reach the arms all the way behind you, and then breathe out. Get the hips high, pull the knees in close, and then melt your rib cage down. Rib cage down first, middle back second. 1 vertebra at a time through that lower back. The other nice thing about being a little higher on that roller is it just gives that spine a little more space to really kind of articulate back down to the mat, 1 vertebra at a time. Now we're going to pull the roller in. I've got my hands now on the roller. We're going to lift your hips up and just place the roller just under your pelvis, a little bit lower than your hip bones. Now we're going to lift the knees up and sink your rib cage down. So we're kind of scooping and rounding out the lower back. And I just want you to bicycle your legs. So this is really good for the knees. People with knee issues definitely should get a roller for the stretches as well as the strengthening. This should just feel good. It's not much of a strengthening. I mean, you do feel the muscles working, but it's just more about mobilizing and keeping everything tracking perfectly. So your feet, knees, and ankles all track in line with your hips. Now let's reverse the movement. Just gonna backward pedal that bike. Stay there for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, before we move on, I just want you to get a little stretch. So just hold here and try to take your hands to the backs of your calves or the backs of your ankles. My hips are up on that roller. Now take the hands back to the roller and press the roller away as I try to touch the toes behind. So my hands are up on the roller. Then lift the toes up to the ceiling into a bit of a shoulder stand, and then roll back down till the hips come to the roller, and then extend the legs out as low as you can. Lift them back up, press the hands into the roller, take the toes behind you, lift the hands up to the ceiling, hold, inhale, and then exhale, control all the way back down till the hips hit the roller, extend the legs out and back. Jackknife till the toes reach the floor behind you, then float up into that shoulder stand, squeeze the glutes, hollow the abdominals, breathe out, roll it back down slowly and with control. Extend the legs out and in. Good. All right, let's take the feet down to the mat. Lift your hips up off of the roller, and I'm actually going to swap rollers now. So I'm going to hug your knees into the chest, chin to your chest, and roll yourself up to sitting. Now, the benefits of the long roller. What I love to use the long roller for is to have it like along the line of your spine. So you sit just right at the very end and then just lift your hips up and just slowly ease yourself back onto that roller. So it's here at the back of my head. It's under my shoulders and my rib cage. I'm in a neutral spine, so I've got a little space under my lower back, and then they're supporting the tailbone. If you don't have the long roller, this is a 90-centimeter roller. You can use this type, put it under your pelvis and the middle of your back, and then put a ball or something under your head. It's not nearly as comfortable, but if that's all you've got, give it a try. It's kind of fun too. Now we're gonna lift your knees up to tabletop. And I'm actually just gonna take my left hand up so you can kind of see everything's just perfectly aligned. Now, this is a deep abdominal exercise, your transverse abdominis, your stabilizing muscle that helps you support that lower back, the one that's like your corset. So I want you to really feel the muscles wrapping around your middle, like you're trying to lift your waistband up just with your muscles. And put your ribs down towards your hips, We're gonna lower your right toe down to the mat as you inhale, exhale, lift the knee back up. Now I've got my elbows just out to the sides just to help to stabilize. I've got my fingers resting across the sides of the waist and a little bit wrapped around to those abdominals, just making sure everything's pulling in really tight. Inhale down, exhale up. You can also do these just sitting on the mat, but putting it up onto a roller just adds that extra level of instability, a little bit of movement side to side that just forces those small stabilizing muscles to work a little harder. Inhale down, exhale up. One more time, each side. Now I'm back into my tabletop position. Scoop the belly button in a little tighter. Every time you stop, just good to realign, reconnect. Now we're gonna breathe out, extend your right leg out. Breathe in, draw the knee back in. Breathe out, extend your left leg out. Inhale, just slide it back in. Keep the ribs down to the mat. That lowest back rib should be down on your roller, but still with that little bit of a gap. Every now and then, maybe check, slide those fingers under the lower part of the back. Make sure you're not imprinting or tilting the pelvis at all. The hip bones and the pubic bone should be level in one plane, so you're not tucking the tailbone under or letting it roll forward. Now I'm going to advance this a little bit. We're going to extend that right leg long. If you can, lower the leg. Exhale, lift it back up, and then inhale, pull the knee to the chest. Exhale, extend your left leg. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale back. Now you see I still have my hands here at the abdominals. I'm still moving my legs, but just to check that we're not over-doming or bulging through the abdominals. Good to have the hands there just to remind those muscles, those transverse abdominis muscles, to be drawing in, pulling down, shrinking from your hands. Extend the right leg, lower it down. Now if this feels too strong, just go back to the one where we're just sliding it and then pulling it back. Last one, extend, lower, lift, and bend. Now I'm gonna take my feet down and relax the abdominals for a moment. Reach the arms out. This is the first of our stretching exercises. So I want you to pin the backs of your hands down to the floor and just reach them out to a wide V. Now just stretch them out to the sides like you're making a snow angel and roll them down towards your hips. One more time, sliding them along up over your head and then sliding them back. So it just really opens up the chest, opens up the collarbone, just reduces that hunching sensation or the hunching that we all do when we just sit at a desk for too long. Last one, up and down, and just a little bit of rolling left and right. Just gonna rock side to side on that roller. It's just a good way to kind of rebalance your body. Feel a little bit of a stretch as well. A little bit of kind of tissue massage between your shoulder blades. And just take the hands onto the mat, turn your head to the right, just to stretch the neck. Lift the head up, turn the head to the left, just kind of pushing the back or the side of that head into the roller, come back to the center. And we're going to start curling up off of the roller. Good. Now take the roller away. I just want to do one more thing with this one. So I'm just going to do a shoulder bridge with this type of roller. Now, the thing with this one is it has that grid, has these kind of grooves, which helps it stay a little more stable on your mat because it kind of hits, kind of stays into one of those dips. This is a smooth roller, so it rolls a little bit more. So it's good just to try out as well, doing our shoulder bridges on that smooth roller, which is going to be a little bit more slippy. I'm going to breathe out, lift the hips up. I'm going to go into a single leg, so lifting the right knee up, lower the hips down, exhale, lift. And you may find that your hamstring has to work a little harder on that smooth roller. So if you have the smooth roller at home, just good to be aware of the difference. Now we're going to switch the legs, right foot down, left knee up. We're going to do 5 there, 5, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now both feet down on the mat. Let's once again reach the arms behind, melt the spine all the way down. Good. I'm going to extend my legs out. I'm just going to roll that roller, kind of walk it along until it's just under my ankles. Now lift your hands, lift your head, roll yourself up and reach forward. So it's just a classic roll up, but having your feet a little higher on your roller gets you deeper into your stretch and also challenges the abdominals a little bit more as you roll down. Inhale, exhale, roll it up, stretch forward, and then inhale, straighten up the back. Obviously that one you can also do with the shorter grid roller. That's fine as well. Inhale, you can even do this one on a ball. Exhale, rolling all the way up. Stretch forward and then straighten up your back. Okay, now we're gonna flip onto the front. And have that roller at the end of your mat. Just come all the way down. I'm going to lift my hands onto the roller. So my thumbs are pointing up to the ceiling. I'm going to actually walk a little bit further back. So it's just a little bit higher than the wrist. I'm going to lift the chest and roll up. Just pulling those pinkies in. Roll it back down. Exhale, lift. Feet stay on the mat. Inhale, lower. Now I'm going to try that with the grid roller just to see. Arms are going to be a little bit closer together. Just kind of slot your hands into that widest groove. And just basically the same. Roll down, roll up, and down. Last two, and down, and one, and down. You can also just stack your hands one on top of the other and do the same thing. Rolling up, rolling down, just a slightly different sensation. Good to kind of work it in slightly different angles. Last one, lift and lower. Okay, now I want to get to the fun part. So I want you to take this, I'm on the grid roller now. And I'm going to do a little bit of stretching in between the strengthening. So I've got the roller right at my thoracic spine, just kind of right where my bra strap is, right between the shoulder blades. Hands come behind the head, and I want you to lift your hips up. So we're balancing on that roller. Now we go deep into that deep chin massage. This is where you're going to get the bounce out. Just roll, walk your feet back, rolling that roller between your neck, right from the neck, should be there to kind of almost cradle the head. Hands stay behind the head. We walk the feet all the way back, stopping wherever you feel. Like you might feel a little bit of a knot, and just going deeper, just little inches up and down. Oh, that feels so good. Roll all the way back into that lower back. I'm actually going to scoot myself forward a little bit so I can get it right into my lumbar spine. So it's good just to come all the way back down into that lower back. Just kind of roll up and down there. Takes a good amount of abdominal strength as well. So it's really a stretch. It's like a massage, but it's working your abdominals at the same time. And just fold over that roller, go a little deeper. And then maybe just even resting your hips down, just having that roller in the crook of your neck. And then again, turning your head to the right. And then turning your head to the left. Good. One more time. Hands behind the head because I just can't get enough of this one. Rolling up and down. Okay, so now I mentioned how rollers are really good for people with knee issues. Now this next exercise, next stretch, it may well hurt if you do have a knee issue. So there's a band that connects your knee to your hip. It's called your iliotibial band, your IT band, something you hear a lot about if you're a runner, and it gets very tight. It connects just below, or slightly just above the knee. I want you to take your roller and put it, just kind of prop yourself up. So imagine I'm like this. So it's almost like a side plank. I'm using my hands to support, but this is going to be a little too intense with the full weight of my body on that roller. So I take the foot in front just to take some of that weight, and you roll up the side of that leg, roll it down. And this is actually kind of excruciating. But one thing I have noticed is if I'm doing squats and I hear a grinding sound in my knee, and then I do this, and I do squats again, then the grinding sound goes away, which has got to be a good thing. So if your IT band is really tight, it pulls your knee out of alignment. And we want those knees to be perfectly lined up. Now, once I get to my knee, I roll a little bit over and then roll a bit back. So just kind of pivoting on that knee. There's just, you can feel where that knee connects into that muscle, that muscle connects into the knee. It's kind of right here, just outside. If your knee was a clock face and 12 o'clock was towards your foot, it'd be at 7 o'clock, just kind of there. And if you touch it with your hand, you can often feel, you can kind of massage it from there. It's really good to get that foam roller into that spot and then roll it right up that leg until you get into that hip. Then you can take your foot behind and get into your tight hips. And just kind of roll forward and back on that pivot point. Again, you can feel where that connector is from the muscle, and that IT band is into your hip, and just kind of roll that out, inch up and down there. So it's just that dimple just inside, just kind of slightly behind your hip. Good. We're going to go one more time, rolling all the way up and all the way way down. Now, usually when I'm changing sides, I go, before I do the other side, I just prop myself like a little plank and just roll back. So I roll out my quad muscles. So it's like flying. It's rolling back, rolling all the way up. That one feels much better. You can also go straight into your shins. Anyone who suffers shin splints, this is a good one. So just roll out those shins, forward and back. And then once you've gone over the quads, over the shins, it's time to do the other leg. Now, I would normally face the opposite direction, but for the sake of the camera today, I'm going to turn myself around. So again, you prop that roller just below the hip. You can be on your elbow or on both hands. You can stack your legs, but that's actually for me way too much. I feel like it's really nice to have a little bit of pressure off and into that foot. Just roll up and down. Once you get to that knee, just roll a little bit forward, a little bit back. Just pivot forward, pivot back, and then again, come up to the hip. Find that dimple, pivot forward, pivot back, just wherever your body needs it. And just go a little deeper. So that's our deep tissue. Go one more time all the way to the knee. One more time all the way up to the hip. Good. I'm going to flip myself around and sit on the roller. Now, hamstrings. So I want you to lean forward. For me, you may find that for your body, you can just roll like this. Just roll out your hamstrings, just kind of propping yourself up. But I don't really get much of a stretch because I've got quite bendy hamstrings. And so to go deeper into my stretch, I have to do it from here. So I need to already be stretching my hamstrings a little bit. And then lift up and just kind of pivot myself forward and back. Almost like a little gymnast getting into those hamstrings. It helps if your mat isn't too sticky. Mine's a little sticky. Good. Go a little bit further until you're just behind, just kind of just in front of the sit bones. And then you can lean forward. And a little bit of rocking. Good. All right. Now, lower legs. Let's roll that roller down to your ankles. And lift. It's good just to lift yourself up into a nice reverse plank. And then just roll out the calves. So this, again, is a little bit excruciating, but you know that it's got to be good for you. Just goes deep into those calf muscles. I'm going to just walk my hands forward a little bit as I roll back and forward. Also works your triceps. And forward. Last two. And out. And one. Okay, drop the hips down. So I'm going to finish you guys on a good feeling, not the one at the back of the calves. So I just want you to, again, place that roller at the base of your spine. So you're fairly comfortable here. Chin into your chest. We're going to start this with one strengthening exercise before we do our final stretch. So I want you to take your hands behind your head, pull your knees in, scoop the abdominals in tight, extend your right leg out, lower the legs down, keeping that shape of legs. Exhale, lift up. So the grid roller is just there to kind of prop you up and help to support. We're also working through the abdominals. You have your hands free to support the back of that head. So this is something I often do in my class. I'm going to switch sides here. Switch sides if you're working with me, down and up. So in my class, I often do it like this on the elbows, but I've had people complain that it actually gets into their neck a little bit. So it might be useful to use that roller behind you so you have those hands free just to support the head. Last one, lift. Draw the knees in, scoop, and extend the legs out. We're going to circle the legs around. Let's actually take your hands out to your sides. Give a little bit more stability as you circle the legs all the way around. 2 circles the other way. Exhale. Inhale, lift and hold. Scoop a little tighter. Exhale, rolling all the way around. Inhale, lift up and hold. And then take your feet down to the mat. Lift your hips up and just roll out one last time. All the way up. And all the way down. Just getting all those kinks worked out of your back. Good. And then to finish, I'm going to swap the rollers one last time. Finish with that nice openness through the chest. So just propping yourself up onto that roller. Take your hands behind the head, opening the elbows out until they touch the mat. Sinking the ribs down, reaching arms out to the side. And just sliding those hands up and down. Just get that nice openness through the chest. Good. Good, lift your knees up. Scoop the abdominals in, just balancing on your elbows. And then extend the legs out. Pull the knees back in. And then take the feet down to the mat. Okay, so it's always a little bit tricky coming off the roller. No graceful way. You can either just roll onto your right side or just inch yourself back up. Flip yourself over. I'm just gonna turn the roller. We're gonna come back into our downward dog. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up. Just holding there for a moment. And let's roll that roller all the way back. Let the head hang. And then bend the knees, run the spine, roll yourself all the way back up to standing. Float your arms up. Inhale. Finish with a lovely balance. Heels together, inner thighs touching. And then reach your arms out to the side. Great, well done everybody. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Use those foam rollers. If you have any questions, please send me a message. Give us some feedback. We really appreciate it. Just other types of equipment that you'd like to know more about. I'd love to do some different sort of classes to focus on what you guys need. So let us know. See you soon.